Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I am That Resolves, and here we are today, probably playing like either the same deck that we played already, or a deck that you're probably bored to death of in like Argenport mid-range, maybe even a bit of Xena combo. Who knows? But there's a reason that this month is probably going to be awful in terms of content creation, so I wasn't going to be interested whatsoever in playing in World, but after seeing how close it was to top 100 last month, though I did actually get kicked out of it like at some point in the last couple of hours, but you know, I've got to sleep. So last month, made it into 50th place, went to bed, woke up, nobody found out what the actual top 100 was until about halfway through the day. Found out that I'd not made it. So somehow like 51 people had came in and overtook me. Was curious, so you know, emailed Down Digital, do you know what place I was in? You know, so it knows. So it lets me know where I need to be, because given my time zone is GMT and the like season ends whatever it is in America, like PST or whatever, lets know what sort of rank I should be to secure it. This month, however, I've been in a bit of a tear. Played a bunch of the FGS deck, a bunch of Xena combo. We're in 7th place. We've not really moved very much. I've started with like plus or minus like 1 place, so I got in at 3. After a day, decayed to 7, played like 5-0, went up to 6, decayed overnight to 7. So I reckon if I keep playing good decks, I can probably stay in this month. That's sort of awful, because that means like another 3 weeks of just having to play boring decks, but there we are. So there were at least 100 masters, and we're still in the top 10, which is good. First, it didn't really feel too remarkable, because there were like 25 masters, and we were 6. Was like, well, you know, that's sort of fine. You know, there's not many places for you to go. But now I think that's probably a reason why I should just be picking some reasonable decks to be playing. Not sure what people would get out of me playing in casual, because even though casual can be quite cutthroat, because that is people who just want to log on, not risk losing anything, and just play their one win like of the day. So today I'm not really sure if I want to play the FGS Kai first, because it's a bit too close to like the Fire Justice Shadows of Vara deck. The only real difference is instead of Vara, you've got Kaifus and you've got main deck Statue Maidens. I do like main deck Statue Maidens because it makes Xena combo really hard to go off with, because Xena combo can fight through the first Statue Maiden, but if you've got more than one in your deck, because like the first banish you can get like you get with your merchant, kills Maiden, and then you're able to carry on your combo. When you're playing against a deck that's got like, what is this, access to 4? Yeah, so they've got access to 3, because I've got 2 in the main and 1 in the market. That's very hard to win with. Don't expect many people to be playing Xena combo, because you know it's a bit of a high roll deck. You either get there or you don't. There's also like this just Argenport mid-range deck. I do like this list. This is Sunu's, and Sunu is the person who, like, as a meme, created that FJS Zaberi deck, which has been absolutely rinsing the ladder. And also made this. There's some like interesting choices, like having Reinvigorate in the sideboard. I imagine that just makes like the Scarecrow matchup like a joke, because like they permafrost, I don't know, Vara or Unseen Commando, and they just like, nope, sorry friend, and you kill them. Not sure which one to play. I think, yeah, we'll play Kai first. Well, we played FGS the other day. Let's play some Baby Rock Ribs, the Argenport mid range. So our queue times are also a little bit of a joke. Oh, are we straight in? Oh, against Yaw, nice. So we're on the draw though. I'm not sure what Yaw has been playing. This hand's a little bit greedy, because we've got 2 like into a removal spell and keep going. If we draw like power, we should be really good, because we've got Valkyrie Force and 2 weapons just to make our boy big. But if Yaw's playing FGS, we can just get owned pretty quickly by just like Torch into Annihilate. So I think I will redraw this. This hand's sort of worse, but we do get to play with. Oh. Okay, so we'll play Argenport Banner down first. If we draw a power, that's great. I will just play Ripknife Assassin, probably just trade event. Actually, Fenris, because I think that Ripknife's probably better. Okay, so Crest is good. We'll Crest here. Probably want to top power, so yep, top in power, because then we get to play all of our stuff out. Let's just Sabotage. We'll take the Torch, nice. That Torch probably would have been pretty vital for our opponent's plan. So they're playing Skycrag, but we do get to play like Block It into Blocker. Is anything I'm really interested in? I think it's probably Reinvigorate. So we'll go and fetch that, just like Fenris Nightshade's probably not doing much here. So let's just bin off the Fenris, grab Reinvigorate. This will just set us up for later because it'll mean that the Vara will be immune to Permafrost, which is pretty good, as well as being able to set up some sort of huge blowout. Like, I'm just happy to block here. Of course, we could have played Fenris because that would have meant that we'd had something that could have blocked the Ixtam Merchant. But I think for now, we're just going to play Vara. It'll pop this Aegis. And need to consider what I'm actually blocking. Yeah, so now that there's no sacrifice, we can probably pretty safely... Oh my goodness. We're getting factory quoted. Well, I probably can't attack here. Well, can't really block too hard here. So, I think I'm going to attack. There's no real good blocks, and we get to give +2, +2, +3 for this. Yeah, actually, let's just Reinvigorate now. Wallop for 8. We don't gain anything because of this stupid factory quota. We do sort of need to grab something though. So, Crouch Tactic doesn't do much. Makto is probably quite redundant here. Vanquish is Vanquish is probably quite good because then we can also just like double spell. So, just gonna pop this. Grab a Vanquish just because most of the cards in our deck cost either 2 or 3. So, you know, we can, you know, draw something, play it, and play Vanquish at the same time. So this long barrel's happening here. That is using all of our opponent's power. They do have a 5/2 Vadius here. Maybe this would have been a good turn for us to rats, so just do power. Maybe the Vadius was fine, but let us just boop this. We are taking some damages here. I've already been through 2 merchants, so I'm sort of happy just to play the power there. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. I'm going to hope that just having 2 endurance threats is lights out. Probably I'm going to trade here actually. Yeah, this is fine. So our opponent takes 2 damage, goes down to 6. So factory quarter quite beaten here. There we go. Just Tavrod into Tavrod should be fine. We're not going to take any damage here. It's going to be hard for our opponent to get through this Tavrod. And then we'll just get to play under 1 next turn. So just chunk it. May as well keep up tactic. But that factory quarter is going to be quite the beating. Well, Bloodletter's not going to do much, but I'll take it. What would we discard there? Just like Slave Merchant. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, double block. So, our opponent has got us here. They've got exactly 7. We can Crownwatch. Does leave our opponent dead if they don't draw a unit. Yeah, so... Yeah, so we managed to get there against Skycrag. And you can see that this is a real inertia, and sort of the problem I've got, because I think if we lose there, you know, we lose like 2-3 ranks, but if we win, we don't gain anything. So, yeah, it's hard. Just let me know in the comments, like, would you be happy for me to play in casual? And then I can just, you know, I can actually just play these boring decks in sort of the ranked off camera. But yeah, let's go to the next game. Yeah, I suppose these videos need like a lot more editing now because it's just going to be like huge, like absolute queue times. Like, so as well as last night where they were like 3 minutes each. Because at least our first game today, probably with whatever the MMR decay is overnight, meant that there was like 3-minute queues yesterday. Absolutely absurd. I've no idea how like people at Man US just managed to maintain these like high ranks. Like it must just be like a second job or something. I'm only doing this for literally 1 month though, because, well, 1 season. Okay, here we are on the play. I think that's where we do prefer to be this deck because it is a beatdown deck at the core of it. Just one Justice Sorcerer, just absolute redraw. So we are Tavrod flooded, so please no Inco Bloods. If this is Felon Control, I will just like scoop it up, move on to the next game. But Crest here, not a power, so it has to be bottomed. Has to be either a power or a cheap interactive spell. The ideal draw would be something like a Sabotage here, just to snap off the cookbook. But we didn't draw it, so our next opportunity... Well, I suppose we're just making a 2-3. Next, I assume it's getting torched, like Annihilate or something. Annihilate probably less so because we don't have Vara. Okay, so we're just racing then, I guess. I think we'll just kill this, and actually, yeah, we don't need to. Cool. We've got a Valkyrie Force, we'll just get to silence it. Just reset our life totals, silence your thing. If our opponent goes for like a merchant, I'd really like to draw Sabotage. I'm actually going to take a look at this deck list and see what's actually in it. So, yeah, that's probably fair. I'm not trading here. I feel like we're more aggressive, so FGS probably got more like a greater card quality. So I think we just actually want to just try and end the game. A little bit awkward here that I don't want to play Vara's favour, but we also can't just like miss on power again. We do need to get up to 5 really to start deploying these Tavrods. Fortunately, we're not against a deck that is able to Inkobler because they're also playing Justice. So of course, our opponent's deck is probably playing Runehammer. Runehammer's really good when you got like these charge threats. Rats. So this is no longer trading here. So we could just let Vara's favourite into Slay. That lets us lead up into the Tavrod, but we do get owned by a Statue Maiden then because then our Tavrod just can't really do anything. So look at what weapons we can actually hit with Tavrod in the deck list. And we can hit Runehammers, Vanquisher's Blades, and Bloodletters. So we actually have stuff like Vanquisher's Blades, so if they do put Cudgels on it, we can hit it, but that seems unlikely. So, this is sort of a tough spot. I think we'll just play Vara here to see how our opponent does. And I think we will leave Valkyrie Force back, just as like block the 3/3 that gains life. Okay, so Vara's getting slain, that's fine. I'm sort of okay with this. We'll just trade with the lifesteal one. Our opponent gaining like millions of lives is not really optimal for us. That's perfect. It means we don't have to use this Vara's favour. Can use it later on. At this point, we don't really care about Runehammer because we've got like this. Opponent does have Quarry, so we're able to find answers. Yep, so discarding a Justice Sigil there means they probably found some. Oh, they found Seek Power. We're okay. We're in okay shape. Doesn't mean it's not a slate, but you know, we're just going to keep playing Tavrods until one sticks long enough for us to draw a card off it. Ripknife Assassin, cool. So we also like have plays next turn if our opponent deals with this. So if they play like Stat Maiden, we can just like slay it and play Ripknife Assassin, which is pretty nice. Okay, so the opponent's just like on Slay Tribal here. Yep. Vara is enough, I think, for me to want to Slay plus Assassin. Yeah, let's just boot this. Let's play Justice Sigil out. If you draw like a merchant, we can also just like Vara's favour just to deal the damage. We can then get the Shadow Sigil from this and trade that away. So I think our opponent here is probably getting Cookbook, in which case we do need to start being aggressive because we can't allow our opponent just to sort of like sit on that. Don't really want our opponent to trade with this, I guess. We're only at 8, so we probably shouldn't be too aggressive here. We can attack with the Tavrod next turn. Shakedown's sort of fine. Like, I would make that trade. Killing our Ripknife Assassin, pretty bad for us there. Yeah, I actually really wanted the Vara's favour because it meant that we could deal with something here. I guess we've only got one ability. Let's attack here. I sort of don't mind either trading or doing some sort of damage. Okay, well, the discard 5 cards on the top of your deck, not the most exciting. Oh, let's keep our Tavrod, cool. So, let's silence this because it's nonsense. We just sort of need to fade Harsh Rule here. Our opponent does get 2 draws. They have played a version with Will so maybe Harsh Rule isn't like big on their radar. If they attack though, we do need to sort of like make some amount of blocks. Yeah, Shakedown again, that's fine. Just keep Nightfall going. Okay, cool. So, do just grab Vanquish here. I think we'll just grab Vanquish. It means that we can start attacking a lot safer. Because I probably can't double block Tavrod at that point. Also get to gain a few lives, which is nice here. So we're just going to go no value cards. Okay, Bloodletter's cool. So Bloodletter's just like a surprise, like fireball you off this Winchest Merchant. Opponent's just taking all these hits though. It's curious depending on what our opponent does. Like, we can also put Bloodletter on Tavrod next turn. Okay, well, our opponent wasn't able to find an answer because we'd have like a lot of power in the air. And there we go, just like win a game. It's not like a quick game, but you still stay at 6. Like, yeah, I've just got a lot more respect for the sort of like the top ranked players at the moment. Okay, so I guess we get to do a little bit of dream crushing still. So on the draw, this sounds sort of nice, we've got like 2s into 3s, but just 2 depleted powers. I feel like it's going to be too reliant on us actually just drawing an undepleted source to be able to go off. This hand's not great, but if we're against like a slow matchup and they don't kill Fenris, we get to draw a card off it, so... Oh dear, Skycrag. Oh, the first hand was a little bit better than this. Okay, cool, so we've got a 2-drop. We've got more 2-drops. So, probably happy just to like trade Ripknife with whatever, because it doesn't care about combat tricks. So, okay, well, there we go then. Probably going to play Bigger Boy down then. Opponent can torch this, sure, but I'm not blocking here. Okay, so Vadis is fine. Actually, we'll just trade here. This is sort of interesting because I do just want a Bloodletter next turn. We can't like ever block this Vadius, that's sort of the problem. We get to like attack our opponent for 6 and gain 6, just have like a huge boy in play. Yeah, I think we'll just have a huge boy in play. Yeah, we're just like Bloodletter into Bloodletter, just like very much like the good old days when we got to play Bart in these sorts of matchups. Like, our opponent can't block here, we just get to gain 6, which sort of negates their attack. Next turn, if our opponent doesn't permafrost this, you know, we get to gain. Yep, so they permafrosted this, which is fair, you know, probably should have been thinking about that and just like deployed another threat, but I'm not much in the market for blocking here. Would like to draw a merchant actually, because then I get to get this Reinvigorate, which is some sort of sweet technology, but I've probably not got any value from these attacks yet, which is actually pretty saucy stuff for us. I'm going to keep the Annihilate up. I've also got a Fire Merchant, so they've not grabbed like Caleb's Choice or anything from the board. Pretty convinced that this would have just been like Obliterate or some sort of nonsense. So Morningstar, where's it going? Vadis is fine. Let's just Annihilate this, just not deal with that. We do take 8, but we're going to Bloodletter up. We're going to gain 5 and get a Warcry next turn. Power's probably fine. But let's just make some juicy boys, gain a bit of lives. Then next turn, you know, maybe we can sit back and just block the 2-1. The 6-5 is going to be difficult to deal with. Yeah, so opponent's got a Obliterate. We're going to get Obliterated anyway, but you know, just gained like a few lives because our boy was bigger. Okay, cool. Big Unseen Commando. So if our opponent's unable to deal with this, then we should be able to take over the game because we're gaining 4 a turn. Nope, no blocks there. So opponent's not got anything like a torch, so otherwise I'd have made the attack there. We do need to be concerned with this Vadius. Cool, we drew a power, so we get to double slay. Probably not quite in the market for activating our dude. So I want to think, do we attack? If we attack, so what our opponent can deal to us is they can deal 2, 1, 1, so 4, and then plus champion would be 8. We attack, we go up to 8. But if they miss, you know, we're in good shape. Our opponent would... I think I'm going to attack because we also need to just kill our opponent. I've not seen any champions. Yep, so no champion here, it's just like an attack. We do need to draw like something though to be able to protect ourselves. Alright, cool. So we'll attack here. I think I will Crownwatch tactic just because this puts us out of range of being. This puts us out of range of actually being championed because now we're at 11. It's a lot more difficult. So it's like free surprise damage out of nowhere. Let's get to put us to 4th. Should be a spell that costs 2 that we're able to deal with us with. Yeah, just the power. So we did manage to get this one. Although playing a Skycrack is just always so difficult. But of course, like playing with Argenport has just always traditionally been. It's been a winnable matchup from the Argenport side, where like some other beatdown decks have just like had no chance. Uh-oh, missing toes. This is not remotely capable because it's just 1 power. So we'll redraw this here. Do I have it on friends list? No. So we're probably going to be playing against like FJS because it's just like a good deck. Do play Crownwatch standard, and I think we'll probably slot it in somewhere around 2. We'll Crest here just because I really want to find more power. More Tavrods this is always tempting, just like Tavrod's really good, but you know, we're sort of light on power, and one of our powers is a spell if we do flood, so I will bottom that. That's just like, don't know whether that's correct or not. It feels more disciplined than correct, especially against a deck that can just like 1-for-1 card removal us. But if we just sat there with like, okay, so just send a message here with Ripknife Assassin. If we just sat here and we just end up like at 4 power, because never deploy our big threats, then we'll just get nowhere. This is a matchup where, okay, so this is the version that only has, just dual Tavrod anyway, it's fine. So we'll Crest here, try and find like underplated power or something. Well, Crest's fine, because then we get to do something with Merchant next turn. So grabbing Vanquish's Blade is probably good. Yeah, now our opponent's got the cookbook. It's double cookbook. Well, at least, you know, they've only really played 1 card this turn, so should be okay. I'm gonna Crest, because this will help inform my decision. Okay, so Unseen Commando. I will keep that just because it's another cheap threat. But I'm sort of like, so if I've seen power there, it's easy because I'll just put Crownwatch tactic. I'll put the Crownwatch standard in my market. So this is actually going to be a little bit more difficult. I do just need to start putting pressure in play though. So let's just put Merchant. We'll trade this and we will get a Vanquish. Rather than the Vanquish's Blade, just going to get Vanquish. This is just, if I want to play something, we can just deal with it. So if we made like a Highwayman, we can just pop it. Because I really want the Slay just as like a standard removal spell that will deal with. Okay, so Torture, cool. Then we just need a removal spell that will kill Statue Maiden. I'm just gonna play Vara because this is more than likely a 5/6. I probably just have an easy sacrifice there, which tells me that they don't have like a removal spell lined up for Vara. But we get to start attacking for free, and then next turn Paul's gonna play that Unseen Commando. Just have like some amount of board. Okay, so the opponent, they scouted a card to the top and then they drew it. Okay, so I feel like I can probably get away with like Tavrod here. I feel like now if our opponent was able to harsh roll, they would have done. Hopefully we're just able to get a little bit of value here. So if we attack and we find, ideally it's Runehammer. Bloodletter's good. Okay, so we didn't get to attack with Tavrod, but our opponent leaving us with the 3/4 means that she's unable to get vanquished. We'll play this Tavrod out again. So I'm probably thinking a little bit too much about Stat Maiden. I should have got like a Makto before, but our opponent is at the point now with power where they can play Maiden plus removal, which is realistically not where we want to be. Okay, so get to attack with both, get to gain back some lives. Our opponent Porter's like gets to chump the 5 here. Okay, so more Tavrods. Won't be playing this one out because I just don't want to like expose ourselves too much to a harsh roll. Well, this would be really nice, just like if our opponent just rules next turn, we could just put a 10/7 into play. This blockade like could be telling us that our opponent's got harsh roll, so I'm not going to play anything else. So that could be telling us that our opponent's got harsh roll because they just want to minimise the damage, but also Stonepowder Alchemist is sort of an interesting card where you can just throw it away because, well, it's got Destiny, well, it's got Revenge, so you don't really need to keep it all the time. So is this the harsh roll? They're at 5. No. So we are going to be allowed another attack. I think if we just like find Runehammer, we're just in great shape. See how much of a nuisance this like Stonepowder Alchemist is. Well, it's getting Vara's favoured. Like, get out here. We're getting our opponent enough value. Then Runehammer is the one. That's what we want to see. I don't even actually mind. Oh, Vanquisher's Blade's pretty cool as well, because if our opponent plays like a Rizan, we get to deal with it and deal a bunch of damage. So yeah, that's good. No one's going to play anything else. We've got 8 damage in play. And we just want to be able to rebuild really quickly from our opponent, like if they did do a harsh rule. Plus, obviously, we've just got like millions of cards in hand. Fortunately, looks like a few of them are just power. So we might not be in as much trouble as I thought we would be. Okay, so Ixtal Merchant. What's this fetching? Is it just Stat Maiden? Cool. So let's just boop this because it's an absolute nuisance. Our opponent does have a Praise double block here, which is sort of awful for us. I think because we've got so many things that deal with like the big stuff that our opponent does, I am just gonna Slay here, which is sort of an awful use of Slay, but I do just want to keep pushing damage. I think our opponent just makes the chunk block here somewhere. Yeah, so we've got Bloodletter now, which is good because our opponent should only have spells like Annihilate that are like fast speed removal and Torch. So we should be able to get into a spot where we're able to like set up with Bloodletter just to do like a bunch of damage. So if our opponent's able to like tap low at some point, I might actually just equip Bloodletter next turn because we're getting a bunch of lives. Yeah, but cool. So I don't think we can quite kill our opponent here. But we can Vanquisher's Blade plus this. So maybe we can kill our opponent. So Vanquisher. So we've got 15 and this will be 21. I'm not going to diversify my threat portfolio. Just because I don't want to just get annihilated. If our opponent had a Vanquish, I'm pretty sure they would have used it by now. Yeah, it's good Vanquisher's Blade. I do like the effect of just being able to boop stuff. Get opponent to 1. This means that Night Bombs are... well, not Night Balls. Nightfall, Fire Bombs, and Vara's Favors are lethal. Okay, so Whirling Duo. It's a bit of a nuisance. Can't annihilate that. I think just going to play 2 of these dudes out. This is sort of unfortunate because our opponent can Rizan maybe. Hopefully our opponent just like tries a look and makes the rats. Is this worth annihilating? So we get to do 7. We get to deal 10 damage. And our opponent's going to attack with this, go up to 7, they're going to deal this, which is 10. I don't think we do annihilate because we can still deal a 10 anyway. Yeah. So we allow our opponent to... rats. So we just got absolutely owned by that then. Yeah, should have... Had we annihilated our own dude, we would have been able to absolutely mess up our opponent, kill him this turn. So I think because we can't do that, Vanquish this, get rid of it, just crack our opponent for free. Just play 10 power Tavrod. So, guess like the weirdo play would have worked out for us, but how many Whirling Duos have we seen? I guess we've not seen any Whirling Duos, but I never put them on that play whatsoever. Okay, so making the dark turn here, getting a big old Rizan. I suppose getting it while you can. Okay, so we do need to be concerned now because our opponent can just gain 6 out of nowhere. Yeah, so I can see that the game is just slowly slipping away from us. Let's make a big old boy. Wallop our opponent for 10. And now, if we did the Annihilate play, we'd just be dead. So, I suppose we're just playing a Vara. But that was a really nice play with the second Whirling Duo. Just absolutely got us. So Risen gets to turn up, kill whichever it wants, which I assume is the Unseen Commando. Just absolutely like risky not caring there, just activating the bombs first. Yeah, this is awful. So Runehammer's not going to do anything here. We do get to attack though. Like the attack's effectively like free, because our opponent can't block here with the Risen. Yep, and I think this is probably us scooping it up. So we've still got outs, you know, our opponent can just draw a double bomb, which they didn't. Rats. Well, now we are absolutely dead, so our opponent's going to scoop it up and move on to the last game. Yeah, like, Zuberi is just absurd. I know our opponent's at 20, they're just like, there's no incentive to just like not bomb, well, not cookbook just every single turn. Yeah, I'm off it. Bye. Oh, off to the next game. Okay, well, we do have technically free power, but it's all very slow. We're on the play though. Generally, like, I do like to keep hands on the play with Vara's Favour just because it's so crushing against decks with like Initiate the Sands, Alessi, or Oni, but I think this isn't really a functional hand. It describes as like drawing like an actual power. This is a little bit better because it's just got like a bunch of interaction, so I think we will just leave with Justice Sigil here. We can shut it up next turn. We do need to find like another sort of like Justice source at some point for this Tavrod. Cool, so I will play Crouch Studded down. We do look like we could flood in terms of like power in here because we do have like Vara's Favours, but I think that just having the influence sorted is just ultimately much more important. If our opponent plays nothing for us to Vara's Favour here, it's going to Vara's Favour them. We do have to be a little bit aware that as our opponent's playing like this sort of faction pairing, they could have in Cold Blood, which again, I'm just going to come back to me just hating that card because it will get 2 points out of us because we'll play our Tavrod, they'll in Cold Blood it, and they'll kill the other one in our hand, and that's just like our punishment for playing like a card that just so happens to be Justice. So Scaperon's had a bit of a slow start. Would actually quite like, and well, going to be pretty happy that our opponent's just like not got anything with 1 toughness in that deck. Just going to play Ripknife Assassin. What I'd really like to find is like a Sabotage, because the deck does play like 3 of them. And then we could just clear the way for our Tavrods. Rats. Well, I think given that this, I don't think that our opponent's going to be playing anything. Let's have a look at our deck list. So we do have 3 Sabotages. I don't think our opponent's going to be playing many like single faction units, so we'll use the Annihilate here just to get him some damage. I suppose that's a bit of a combo. If our opponent does play in Cold Blood like Nightfall, like might draw extra copies, which, well, we did. We've got 3 Tavrods here. I don't want to just play Tavrod down. As good as it is, just get down as soon as possible. I do have to be realistically aware that our opponent, I'm pretty sure this deck list plays a even split of like in Cold Bloods and Feeding Times. And if FJS deck is so good, should probably be quite high on the actual amount of in Cold Bloods here. Okay, so Dark Turn's fine. I'm sort of curious what this deck is. Let's keep getting our little Warcries on. We'll play Tavrod. Feel pretty silly for not playing it last turn, but you know, sort of hoping that we dodge this for a turn at least. So his mum, I think if our opponent's got it, they just snap it off, right? So they've got to have like Feeding Time or something, which I'm perfectly fine with. If our opponent has in Cold Blood and they only like get to get the second Tavrod out of our hand, I'm sort of fine with that because one of the removal spells was 2 for 1, but sure, it wasn't like just kill our thing and kill 2 cards from my hand because that is a little bit powerful. Okay, so Lunamagus, this is fine. I can deal with this. Well, just attack with the boys. Not really afraid of anything here. Would really like to draw. big Tavrods. I'm going to play this one, just because I think that that'll tip our opponent off that I don't want to Inco Blood this, because we possibly can't have more in hand. I mean, obviously, if they've got Inco Blood, they're going to use it, because they sort of need to kill these big boys that we've got. What's this? Yeah, don't Bloodletter. That's terrible. Stop Bloodlettering. I want the Tavrod. There we go. Let's play Crest of Vengeance. And Road of Assassin is probably good, but I think we can do better, so let's bottom that. Opponents get to go up to 14, which is quite a lot. But if our opponent like taps out for something like Cerso, or like Cerso's Cleaver, oh, they're up to nonsense. They've got Twinning Ritual. Yeah, cool. So this might be like a Clockroach deck, in which case there's no way they've got room. Guess who's not getting sacrificed? I feel really bad because I actually really like numbers 1, 2, 3, but we've got a spot to maintain. I quite like just scooping people into Masters, but well, sort of ended on a sad note there, but at least the deck's good. Oh boy, we moved a rank up as well, like 4-1, and then the win after the loss raised as one. So I'm ultimately happy in this. Let's go back to the deck tech. So a few things to say. Sunu is an absolute deck scientist. Like, yet again, they've built something up and it just works. You know, you just like the things in the market like that don't make sense, like, oh, Reinvigorate, what's that for? And you're just like, oh, it just makes the Skycraft matchup like a joke because then you've got like a huge endurance thing. Yeah, just like giving endurance to Vara just means that you've just got like, it's like the good old days where it gets played Crownwatch Traitor, but you're immune to Torch all the time. Just like remove Permafrost, it's nice. But yeah, this deck was sweet. It felt like I had the right things at the right times. I do like Vanquisher's Blade over like actual Vanquish, because in matchups like we saw where we play against like FGS and all that sort of stuff where they might not have that many targets, you can still use it to like give your unit either +2/+2 or +7/+2. That's still sort of fine, really. So this deck's cool. This was actually a really stressful episode for me because I was just like, I don't know if I lose, like I'm going to lose loads of ranks and I just want to stay in the top 100 for this 1 month. So I think maybe I'm just going to start, if I'm doing good decks like this one, which is just like an established and well-known like sort of really good tier deck, then I will play ranked. But if I'm playing something a little bit more fruity, you know, like every now and then we're going to play some spicy meatballs, I'll probably play those in casual just so that there's no risk to ruining my MMR. Because I know when I did a bit of research for a couple of videos last month, and because I don't record well, I do record, but it just doesn't go anywhere sometimes. So if it's a deck that I decide that it just isn't fun to play, I'm just not going to upload it. So sometimes, like the old Combray aggro, I'd record it as like, actually, I just didn't have fun recording this, and I don't want to put content of me not enjoying a deck onto like my YouTube, because then someone else has to watch this and they're going to be able to tell that I didn't enjoy it. Or decks like this. There's a free faction Nightmare deck that's going around. I think it's also got time in it, and it was just sort of awful. Like the influence just never seemed to work out, and it was just like, of course, Maul was good because you just had so much Nightfall, but it felt like sometimes you just couldn't make a play because your influence just wasn't working out. And that's, you know, the deck's still interesting, but I just didn't enjoy it, so I just didn't put it up. So yeah, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, we'll stop celebrating the state murder of a freedom fighter, and we'll stop having explosions so that I can actually record at a reasonable rate, because I only recorded 1 video this weekend, partly because of this like Masters ranking thing, but partly because it's just like explosions all the time because people keep setting off fireworks because it's that time of year. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you very much. See you around.